What is going on, guys? I am back today to talk about a brand new release film that I've been very excited to watch because the lead character is a dog. And I've talked about it a couple of times on my channel on here, but I have four dogs of my own. They are my entire world. I love them with my whole heart. And I always love movies about animals. And I was really interested in this movie in particular because it is a horror movie, ghost story, told from the perspective of a dog living with its owner and seeing these eerie, strange things happening. And if you've watched movies before, especially about the paranormal, there's always this idea that dogs have this sense of what's going on that human beings don't necessarily pick up on right away. And I just thought that that was a really incredible idea for a movie that's never really been done before. And there's been a lot of like gimmicky movies made over the past couple of years. I think about like In a Violent Nature, where it's a slasher film shot from the perspective of the slasher, but it doesn't stick to that formula for the entire movie, and so it really just kind of felt like it was a gimmick. But this in particular, it's clear the director made it. I believe this dog is his dog, and it's like a love letter to his dog, which I just think is beautiful because that's like something that I would do with how much I love my dogs. And I'm really excited to talk about this movie with you today. And the film I want to be telling you about is Good Boy. Good Boy is directed by Ben Leonberg. A loyal dog moves to a rural family home with his owner Todd, only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities threaten his human companion, the brave pup must fight to protect the one he loves most. So, I was super excited to watch this movie. Like I said, the concept to me sounded very interesting. I was really looking forward to see how this director would pull this off. And I think for what this director is going for, this is executed fantastically well. I think this movie is an exercise in excellent atmosphere and building really eerie, ominous setting and having the interaction between the dog and the human building a really great dramatic core so that like when danger happens, when things get really suspenseful or scary, you feel that emotional pull. And I've seen some people talk about that for such a short movie, because it's like a little under an hour and 15 minutes, that the pacing could be better. And while I agree in moments, I think that what the director is achieving here, you're capturing this snapshot of life, right? It's two people living together day to day, and a dog is seeing these things that the human isn't necessarily perceiving. I think that it's done in a way that works very well for what this is. And I really had a fun time with it, and I'm excited to talk to you about it today. So, in this film, we are introduced to our wonderful dog lead, Indy, and he lives with his owner, Todd. And Todd is dealing with some medical issues, and he's struggling in his life, but he's very close to his sister. The two of them talk on the phone quite a bit. And because of the things that he is going through, he decides to take Indy and move to their grandfather's house. And their grandfather has died, and the sister's talking on the phone in the background, and you can kind of get an idea that she thinks the place might be haunted and that there's like stuff going on there, and she's really skeptical about her brother going there. But he like immediately tells her, I don't care about that. I want to go here. I want to stay here. This is good for me. And so the two of them move in together. Well, very quickly, Indy, as he's exploring the house and figuring things out about this new place that he's going to live, realizes that there are strange things happening. He sees shadows in the walls, he sees figures moving throughout the house, and he starts to very much worry for his owner, Todd. And the entirety of the film is Indy discovering more and more and more about this ghost, and us as the audience seeing what is going to happen to Todd and Indy if they stay in this house much longer. So, like I said, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it's incredibly effective, but I have to start with the most important part of the film. This dog, Indy, uh, absolutely incredible. I was reading online, I guess the dog didn't really have any formal like acting training or like shown how to deal with cameras and all of these things, and it is absolutely incredible the way that this dog reacts in situations. The eyes, the facial expressions, the way that the dog moves and reacts to situations. It is an incredible testament to the filmmaker working with his dog, getting the best performance that you can get out of the dog, and then utilizing your editor and your cinematographer in a way that so seamlessly makes this feel like it really could be happening. And that's just a really great testament to how incredible this filmmaker is for getting that level of a performance from a dog. Because the best dog performance that I've seen next to this in years was the dog that was in the film Anatomy of a Fall, which had one of the most incredible sequences I've ever seen in a movie, period. And I just kept thinking about that in this. Like, animals, dogs are so incredibly smart. They're wonderful, especially if you've been around your dogs. My oldest dog is 13 years old. He's been with me almost his entire life. I adopted him when he was 2, and he just is so well behaved, well trained, listens. And when you build that level of a bond with an animal, it's really interesting to see the types of things that you can do with him, like make a movie. And so I thought that that was really incredible. And he's such an adorable dog, and he does, like, I could have watched a 3 hour long movie just seeing this dog kind of move around and react to situations. And I really liked that a lot. I also like the way this is filmed. You don't always necessarily see the owner's face, but there's such a distinct attention to detail and sound in this movie, and the way that you hear voices and things of that nature. And it just really felt like you were experiencing this through the eyes of a dog, where you're not always going to capture detail, but you're always going to know that you're with that person when you hear their voice and you're near them and you can smell them. And you see a lot of things like arms and legs and hands and feet and things like that where the dog is laying. And I just thought that attention to detail, you can tell this is made by an animal lover and someone who has spent a lot of time around an animal because of those little touches. And I thought that was amazing. On top of that, the cinematographer here capturing specific angles that really feel like you are in that vision line with the dog, and then capturing things like shadows or something moving in the background. There's this really great scene where he's outside with his owner, and I think the owner goes to pee and he tells the dog to wait there, and you see something out of the dog's peripheral moving towards him. And there's just so many great moments like that where it was just very eerie and unsettling and ominous, and put you in the shoes of that. And I think always, like, especially if you're an animal lover, whenever an animal is put into danger, like, you're gonna feel this more intense feeling of like, save the dog, save the cute dog. But I think, like, aside from that, I think there's really great genuine suspense and terror build up through the cinematography and the sound design and the way that those things complement one another, which made the experience really enthralling. I feel like the movie has a very intense dramatic core, especially in relation to the owner of the dog and his illness that he's grappling with, and like the relationship between animal and human. And like, when something like that happens, you obviously can't explain to the animal what's going on. And I feel like a lot of the paranormal supernatural elements in this were very directly reflective of that idea of like, if you get sick or what happens, what will happen to your dog after you're gone, if your dog outlives you. And those are things that animal owners don't ever want to think about, but they're also a very harsh reality of the world that we live in, because death is inevitable. But I think that it's handled very well here. And like I said, if I have any issues with the movie, it kind of aligns to what some other people said with like pacing in certain specific moments of the film. But I can't complain even too much, because this is a very slice of life movie. It's like, this is how a dog experiences reality. And so I think not enough people are really commending this filmmaker for, you know, the approach to making this really feel like it's from a perspective of a dog, because it never shies away from that. It sticks to its thing, and it rides it out until the very end of the movie. And I commend this director for being able to pull that off. I had a genuinely enjoyable time watching this, and I think if you get the opportunity, you should watch it as well. So have you seen Good Boy? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really entertaining. I really enjoyed myself. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to rewatching it again in the future. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material, and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.